Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer. I'm in the kitchen today and I'm going to do a Sunday prep for you. I do have Peter in the kitchen with me and he is making some chocolate chip cookies, which is one of the things on the list. That's going to help me out a lot. What I like to do on a Sunday prep is just pull out my menu plan here and see what we're going to be having for the week. So the plans are, now remember, things change, but the plans right now is tonight we're going to be having ham, mashed potatoes, and green beans, cranberry sauce. Monday we're going to do venison steak and the pepper jack potatoes. Tuesday is going to be chicken fried rice. Wednesday pizza hot dish. Thursday awesome sauce chicken. Friday cheese quesadillas and Saturday pizza. So that is the plan anyway, and it's going to actually happen more likely than not if I actually get things ready to go. Let me just run you through what I did here as I pulled out a whole bunch of different ingredients and things like that, and I'm going to get some things prepped. So for tonight, obviously prep because we're going to eat it right away. So this was the best I could do for ham. This time it's already the sliced ham like this. I'm just going to put this in my crock pot, get it warming for tonight's supper, and that will be ham. I have the potatoes here to get those peeled and going for mashed potatoes. I also have to get down to the garden to see if we have green beans and get some of those picked. The cranberry sauce is already made. I canned cranberry sauce a while back and I still have some from that. For the venison steak, I brought it up, didn't I? Didn't I bring up a pack of venison? Oh, no. I didn't have any in the downstairs freezer, so I have to go out to the garage. But I'm just going to put one pack of venison steak in a container, put it in the fridge, and that will be ready to go for tomorrow. For the pepper jack potatoes, all I'm going to do today, I'm going to pull out the recipe, but I think I just need to shred some pepper jack and slice up an onion for that. And then and then we'll just kind of go down the list here as for everything that needs to happen for the week. So let's get to it. I'm going to stop talking and just actually make it happen. So for the month of September, the plan is to have crockpot meals on Wednesdays, and this Wednesday we're going to have pizza hot dish. It's funny, I realize we're having pizza Saturday. Oh, that's fine though. We're gonna have pizza hot dish on Wednesday, and although it's a crock pot meal, really everything gets prepared ahead of time and put into the crock pot, basically just for the flavors to go through and for all the cheese to melt. Also, later in the month, we are going to be having biscuits and gravy, and I thought, since I'm cooking up the sausage for the pizza hot dish, I might as well cook up the sausage for the biscuits and gravy as well, and then I'll pull out the sausage that I need for pizza hot dish, and I will just make the gravy part right away, because you really want that grease that's in the pan when you make the gravy. That's what I think gives it a lot of really good flavor. All of the meat is going now in the Instant Pot, browning on the stove, in the crock pot, things like that. So now what I'm working on is vegetables. So I'm just slicing up one onion here. These are going to be for the quesadillas on Friday. I'm not going to cut up the green peppers today though for Friday, because green peppers, I don't know, sometimes I think they can get a little slimy, but onions, these will be just fine as long as they're in this airtight container. I do need to get down to the garden, so as soon as all the meat is done, then I'm going to run down to the garden, see what I can get from down there. I need onions, need some cucumbers, corn, because I was thinking maybe we do corn on the cob with supper as well, if it's ready. We've been watching it carefully, and I also need to get, what else from the garden? I can't think right now, but anyway. Oh, the green beans. I need to check to see if we would have enough to have a meal for supper tonight. And then on the night that we have chicken fried rice, also I'm going to make roasted cauliflower. And the cauliflower in my garden is still not ready. I have probably 8 or 9 plants out there, and each or one of the plants just the other day had just a teeny tiny little cauliflower head. So I'm hoping that it does something before we get frost nights here. You cook more cookies and you get to turn the oven off sooner.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
On the day that I make the roasted cauliflower, what I will do is put a little bit of oil in here and then either some garlic salt or just salt and pepper with a little couple shakes of red pepper flakes, and then just mix it all around, put it onto a cookie sheet, and then I will put it in the oven at about 425 degrees for anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. It really depends on the freshness of the cauliflower, which it's very, very fresh. It also depends on how small or big you chunk it up. So anyway, this is probably going to have to go 20-25 minutes-ish, something like that. I just remembered that when I make chicken fried rice, I always put a little bit of green pepper, celery, and onion in it. And so I'm just quick chopping up those vegetables because we're going to do that on Tuesday night. And so that's not too long for these to sit. They'll still be perfectly good. So this does look like a little bit of overkill for the chicken fried rice, but whatever happens to be left over here, then I can just throw into eggs as the week goes on. I pulled out what I needed for the pizza hot dish, and then all I did is just sprinkle it with flour. That's probably about not quite a quarter cup of flour. I'm going to turn the heat back on, and I'm just going to stir this around until basically the flour gets soaked up by the meat and then any grease that's in here as well. I also put just a little bit of basil, and I usually do a little seasoned salt, but I wait till the very end. I also put in pepper. That I wait until the very end as well. So now I'm just going to stir in some milk. And I'm just going to start stirring this around. I'm going to keep adding milk until it's gravy consistency and just keep stirring. And if I put a little too much milk in, then I sprinkle a little bit more flour over it. And yeah, that's kind of how it works for, this is just like this is what we call sausage gravy. As I stir, I scrape the bottom to get up all the little cooked on bits. The venison is coming along nicely over here as well. It's almost done, just another minute or so, and this will be all done. The sausage gravy is done except for a little splash of Worcestershire sauce. I already put in the pepper and it didn't need any salt. It was plenty salty from the sausage. Woo! Watch out that doesn't burn someone. And I'm going to put it into one of my little ready-tainers. They're the freezer containers that I like to use. They hold a quart. I have the ground venison and the sausage mixed together. I also added in some onion. Now I'm just going to put in a jar of marinara sauce, some garlic. I have to check the recipe. It is in my cookbook. Actually, the recipe for sausage gravy is in the cookbook as well. Let's see. Pizza casserole here is on page 24, and it says, dun 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 dun, I do not put the mushrooms in. I need to add some salt, some garlic powder, oregano, and pepper. And then just to point out that since jar sizes are shrinking all the time, this is a 24-ounce jar, and I need actually a 28-ounce jar. So I added in about 4 ounces of water, and I'm just going to put the cap back on here, swirl it around. That will get all the marinara out of here. I'll pour it in. I just brought the water to a boil to make Jell-O squares. I'm just going to add 4 small pouches of orange Jell-O to 2.5 cups of boiling water. Stir it around until it's dissolved, and then we're going to put it into a 9x13 pan, and I will just let this firm up. You can just pick them up with your fingers. This, I believe, is going to be for Tuesday night supper. I'm going to let this cool for just a little bit before I put the cover on and put it in the fridge. Oh, I was wondering why my water wasn't boiling to make the egg noodles. It's because I never turned it on. All right, well there we go. Now that's on. I'm going to take a little break from actually inside the kitchen work here, and I'm going to go outside and snip beans on the patio. Sam just picked green beans and he said there's a whole bag. Let's see what that actually means. Okay, well that's what he said is a whole bag. Okay, that's not very many at all. Okay, but it's going to be enough for supper tonight, so excellent. I snagged Warren to help me cut up beans. There wasn't that many though. It didn't take us very long at all, but it was nice to just sit on the patio for a few minutes. I'm back in. I'm just boiling up the egg noodles here for the pizza hot dish, and I'm going to just boil these probably not very much longer. I don't want to boil them the whole, whatever it says, 6 minutes or something on the bag, because I don't want them to get too overcooked, because you know they are going into a crock pot then. I just don't want mushy noodles. Okay, I've got Peter with me now. And he was just shredding cheese. You have to chew with your mouth shut, remember? Use your manners. Okay, so this is a pound of mozzarella cheese and a half a pound of cheddar cheese, and we are going to put together quickly here the pizza casserole. And so we're gonna put it in here, but not quite yet. We have to layer it up, okay? So we're gonna layer the meat and the pepperoni and the noodles and the cheese. So I just put a little bit of meat sauce on the bottom, and then I actually put all the noodles, because sometimes I feel like if they get layered and then there's some noodles towards the top with not enough sauce, sometimes the noodles will get like a little crunchy, and I don't really like that. Peter's gonna open the pepperoni and put a whole bunch of pepperoni on here, and then we're gonna top it with cheese and then more sauce and more pepperoni and more cheese. Okay, the last amount of cheese, what I like to do is make sure that I don't have too much touching the edge, because sometimes, again, the cheese will get a little crunchy, even if the pizza casserole is on low. And so I try to keep it, this side I see it kind of touched, but I do like to try to keep it away from the edge and kind of mound it to the middle and let it just gently melt out on its own. All right, I'm gonna put the lid on this and get this into the fridge. Peter is finishing up with the cheese, and he's just getting 2 different types of cheese shredded, pepper jack and Colby Jack, right? Yep. So he's getting those ready for the week for a couple different things. This is for the pepper jack potatoes. The Colby Jack is, I thought maybe we'd slice it, but since we had the shredder, I just had Peter shred it. This is going to be for some quesadillas on Friday. The chicken is all done and it naturally released. Yep, it totally naturally released. So I'm going to get that out and get that shredded shortly. We are going to do a little cleanup. I'm going to have Peter put away dishes. I'm going to start washing up some of these dishes. And yeah, we have to take out the garbage. Just get some things cleaned up before, I guess I call that regrouping, before we move on. I just started to kind of shred or chunk up the chicken. It turned out really well. This was 23 minutes just on the poultry setting in the Instant Pot and then natural release. Yeah, it's really, really tender, and I like to season it. I don't know if you saw that at the beginning, but I put about a tablespoon of Knorr chicken bouillon over top of it, and it just kind of adds, I think, to the flavor, makes it taste almost a little bit rotisserie-like. So very, very good way to make chicken. And when I have this filled, which that might be all of it, we'll see, this is going to be what we're going to use for the chicken fried rice on, is that Monday? No, we're going to use this for the chicken fried rice on Tuesday. So with the leftover chicken that I have cooked up, what I'm going to do with that is loosely turn it into savory chicken sandwiches. So this recipe, I usually start with bone-in chicken, and I put all of these ingredients into a crock pot, let it cook down, then remove the skin and the bones, and serve that remaining meat on a bun. It's very, very flavorful, but since I already had this boneless, skinless chicken breast cooked up in here, so I have garlic salt here and this zesty robusto Italian dressing, and I'm just going to put some of that in here and freeze it. Just thaw this for one of the harvest lunches if we happen to have a couple extra people here. I have options. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with this chicken, and then I'm going to label it and get it in the freezer. When I made the chicken in the Instant Pot, I put about a cup of water in there and about a tablespoon of the chicken Knorr seasoning. So I'm just pouring this, you know, the broth that it made, or the stock, and I'm pouring it into a fat separator, and I'm just going to let this sit for, no, I don't even have to let it sit. I'm going to pour this off so that I can save all of this, because my chicken fried rice uses chicken broth. This is already seasoned. Okay, that looks just perfect. There's like you can see that little fat line in there. I'm not going to go all the way down because sometimes you start getting some of the fat into the broth. So if you are thinking to yourself, boy, I feel like I should try the Sunday prep thing sometime to have things ready for the week, give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to turn off the camera for now. I will be back when it is time to make the mashed potatoes and serve up supper, because I know if you saw, you know, me doing the different parts to supper, it would be nice to just kind of finish the video off with our finished supper. It's 4 o'clock right now. I don't think we're going to want to eat until about 6, so I'm actually going to go and just kind of walk down to the garden, take a little walk outside. It is a gorgeous day and I want to just, you know, soak up every last little bits of summer that I can. So I will see you with supper finished in just a second.
I don't know if I'll be able to eat corn and ham, but I really want them both.
I think you can manage one piece of corn and one piece of ham. You'll be hungry enough for that.
Is this the one that I picked?
Probably.
I think this is the one that I picked, 'cause
I think
it's the
so.
longest.
All right, well, this is what supper is turning out to be. Yes, we'll get some tongs. Yep, mashed potatoes, and
Beans.
we went down and there was some corn that was just ready, and we have the green beans from the garden.
Awesome.
We've got grapes over there, and then ham is somewhere.
Come here, Joel.
Oh,
Joe.
You're good.
Let's see that plate.
Mom, can I have one of
Looks great. And then I almost forgot to put out the cranberries.